Hello young minds, you are welcome to today's lesson. In this lesson, we shall discuss right-angled triangle. What then is a right-angled triangle? A right-angled triangle is a three-sided figure with one of its interior angle equal to 90 degrees. Now, this angle is equal to 90 degrees. So this angle is not equal to 90 degrees, and this angle too is not equal to 90 degrees. But the angle that will be formed here will be equal to 90 degrees. That makes this triangle a right-angled triangle. Now, let us assume that this length is 3 meters. So we would like to use squares by size 1 meter by 1 meter. We are going to put 3 of them here to occupy the entire length. So let's assume we have one here, then another one. Okay. Since we have 3, then we want to occupy this one with a 3 by 3 so that it will occupy the whole of this place. So here 3, so 1, 2, then 3. So that it will become a perfect square with a side 3 meters. So if this is a big square, then here is 3 meters, here it will be 3 meters, 3 meters, 3 meters. The square should have the same sides. So, and then we'll assume here is 4 meters. So if here is 4 meters, then I'm going to use a square, 1 by 1 square, and that will occupy this 4 meters. So 4 here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then to make it a perfect square, then we have to get another 4 length here, 4 length here, and 4 length here, so that it becomes a perfect square. So 1, 2, then 3, 4. So we'll complete the square. So this will become a 4 by 4 square. Since it's a bigger square, then 4 meters, then here too should be 4 meters. Okay, then let's come here. Let's consider here to be 5 meters. That means we are going to draw squares of side 1 by 1 meter so that we occupy this place. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll complete a 5 by 5 square here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay, so now we have a complete square. Now let us count the number of squares that is formed here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 squares here. And this side we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So here we have 16 squares. Now let's count the number of squares we have here too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 squares. So we have 25 squares. Now, what Pythagoras is trying to say is that the number of squares that occupies this area plus the number of squares that occupies this area should give you the same answer when you count the number of squares that we have here. So the area occupied by this square is a 3 by 3 So that is why we have this 9 here. This 9 means 3 squared. To find the area of a figure, you need 2 lengths. So 3 by 3, that is 3 squared. And here to the same 4 by 4. So we have 16 to be 4 squared. And that here too will be 5 by 5. So 25 will be 5 squared. So when we square the length here plus the square of the length here, we should get the square of the length here. That is what Pythagoras is trying to say. So if this side is 3 meters, then when we find the area occupied by this place, which will be 3 squared, plus the area occupied by this side, which is 4 squared, it should be equal to the area occupied by this side, which is 5 squared. Now this side, this length is called the hypotenuse. It is the longest length among the 3. How do we detect this longest length? We detect by looking at the angle 90 degree. The length that the angle 90 degree points to is always the hypotenuse, and that is the longest length. So for instance, if you have a triangle this way and this angle is 90 degree, then this length will be the longest length. Why? Because the angle 90 degree points to this length, and that makes this length hypotenuse, which is the longest length. So in this case, these 2 sides, the length of these 2 side squares will be added to give the length of this side. Okay. So in this case, we have now realized that the area occupied by this side plus the area occupied by this side will give us the area occupied by this longest length. Therefore, 3 squared, which is equal to 9, and it means 3 times 3, so 9, plus 4 squared, which is equal to 16, which is 4 times 4, will give you 16, and that should be equal to 5 squared, which means 5 times 5, and that is 25. So 9 plus 16, 25, and that is equal to 25. So if 25 is equal to 25, then the sum of these 2 sides squared will give you this side squared. That's the longest length, hypotenuse. Example, if you have this shape to be a right angled triangle, then the length that the angle 90 degree points to becomes the hypotenuse. So let's represent the hypotenuse by h. We want to look for this length. So what does the formula say? The formula says that this side squared plus this side squared should give you this side squared, and that's the longest length squared. So all the time you are going to equate to the hypotenuse squared. So let's assume here to be a and here b. Then we are going to say a squared plus b squared equals h squared. Now that we have a, the side length a to be 5 centimeters, we can put our 5 here squared plus b, and b is this side 12 squared, and that should give us the longest length squared, h squared. So what then is 5 squared? 5 squared is 5 times 5, and that is 25, plus 12 squared, 12 times 12, 144, and that will be equal to the hypotenuse squared. So 25 plus 144 will give us 169 equals h squared. Therefore, h squared equals 169. So to find the value of h, we'll have to find the square root of both sides. So this square will take care of the square root, leaving h equals square root of 169 is 13. Then we add our units to it, centimeters. Therefore, the longest side is 13 centimeters. Thank you very much for paying attention. I'll need you to try your hands on this. If you have any comment, you can drop it in the comment section. If you have not subscribed, please do. Tell a friend to subscribe so that we all learn. Until then, keep safe. Bye-bye.